dude. I'm so stoked. That's satisfying. Ladies and gentlemen, it's finally here. 2024 Lotus Emira First Edition 2.0. Atlantis blue exterior, tan interior, gonna show you that shortly. Manual 6-speed transmission, of course. The V6 supercharged. Yellow calipers, diamond cut wheels, sport suspension, and what a looker. I mean, it's dark right now, you can't see that much. Don't worry, we're making a lot more videos about the Emira in the coming days. And I actually got the Emira here in Las Vegas from Vegas Auto Gallery. Big shout out to Blake, my sales guy.
We appreciate it, we appreciate it.
He made the whole process, he took care of me, let's just say that. He made it the least painful it could be because waiting over 2 years. Yeah, I mean, Lotus problems, right?
But a good product in the end.
If you guys want a car like this or some other exotic, check out Vegas Auto Gallery. Ask for Blake, tell them I sent you. But guys, now it's time to tell you a little bit more about the Lotus Emira. Oh my God. I can't believe it's happening, dude. Oh, I can't believe it's happening. Holy shit. Holy shit. So, Blake is such a guy. Got a little champagne for me too. A little bit of a mess because I took all the stuff out from my GR86, traded that in, and first time seeing this car at night. Nice illumination. So we're gonna get our, I literally have not even driven it yet. I've driven other Emiras, but not this Emira. Look at these side views. In a mid-engine car like this, visibility is not the best. So getting these properly situated is gonna be important. And, ooh, let's peel this off. That's satisfying. So what I gotta do is connect my phone. Connecting, pair. We're doing the whole process, boys. Look at this, there's even illumination with the shifter linkage right under here. I love that. These little touches, man. Such money. Let's get everything situated just right. Oh yeah, telescope that all the way. I've been warned that you don't want to scrape right here, so let's take this nice and slow. There we go, no scraping. All right, boys, Lotus Emira. Why did I choose this car? Why did I wait so long? God, I still can't believe this is my car. You know, I think, oh yes, that hydraulic steering. Yes, that feedback already, yes. So in the grand scheme of things, Lotus Emira, probably not the most special car to a lot of people, right? It's not that big of a deal. But to me it is. And let me tell you why. There are a few landmarks. One, in 2018, I finally paid off my student loans, lump sum. I paid my way through college, through medical school. I did have some debt. And that was one. Second one was in 2020 when I felt like I could drop 10K on a medium to high-end sim racing rig, which admittedly I don't use as often as I thought I would. Number 3 is buying my own house, right? Again, this is like no help from your parents. I feel like a lot of people my age that get a house, they have help with the down payment. And then number 4 is buying my first big boy, proper sports car, the Lotus Emira. Now, why did I choose this and wait so long over the Porsche? There have been a lot of people saying, hey, forget the Lotus, get the Porsche. And I understand why, right? So one thing people say is the dealer network. I'm fortunate that I live close to Vegas Auto Gallery here in Vegas. I have one in my city, so if I need maintenance and such, not a big deal. If you're really far from one, I can see why that would be a downside. Ooh, these auto dimming rear view, not as effective. I feel like usually I prefer the manual because you get a greater dimming effect versus the auto dimming. But the Porsche, so you have the network, you have better reliability. I mean, obviously this is a Toyota V6 supercharged, but the other issues with the Lotus is what you're more concerned about, not so much the engine. And I get that. That's the more like adult, practical considerations. But then when you talk about the driving experience, what matters most there are your biases. What do you value more than other people? The Porsche Cayman GTS 4.0 has a better engine than this Emira, no doubt. It has better interior build quality, although the design feels a little bit dated, but definitely better interior build quality. This is still really nice, don't get me wrong, but this is not Porsche level. Porsche level is, as a sports car, is second to none. I feel so naked right now without like my dash cams and such in case something were to happen. I'm so used to driving with dash cams. But what I'm biased toward is steering, handling, chassis dynamics, and the steering in this car is substantially better than a Porsche Cayman GTS 4.0, which is an EPS, electronically assisted unit. This is hydraulic steering. Very few cars right now, it's like McLaren, Lotus, not too many other sports cars sold today actually have a hydraulic rack. And there are some downsides in terms of fuel efficiency from that, but there's also upsides in terms of feel. You get a much better communication and feel through the steering wheel. The transmission in both the Cayman as well as this car, you know, they both have certain issues. I'd put them on a similar level. I feel like the build quality, or quality control I should say, in the Lotus Emira is a little bit variable. So some transmissions feel better than others. I need to drive this a little bit more to determine where this lies, because I have driven a few Emiras before this. The pedal box ergonomics in the Porsche are better, but I think that's something you can get used to as you drive a car. The pedals here are a little bit squished into the right. Porsche brakes are really some of the best in the business, but the Emira has really great brake feel as well. I would say it's actually quite excellent too. Now, this has double wishbone in all four corners. The Porsche has McPherson strut on the front. So theoretically, this should handle better at the limit. The front end is not going to wash out as easily. The Cayman, they've tuned it so well that you wouldn't really know it's McPherson strut until you really push it hard. The Cayman does have a closer, I think the balance there is like 45-55, where this is like 40-60 front to rear, something like that. Don't quote me on those exact numbers, but this has more of a rear bias, which some would say is a worse thing. It's kind of pros and cons. It's more about the polar moment of inertia, as I've talked about previously in a video right up here. The steering, even just puttering around town. Oh my god, dude. I like how clearly delineated each gate is, but getting into each gate, it's like not that crisp. It's good, but it's like, it's not the best manual transmission I've ever driven. Honda S2000 takes that place. But this is definitely still a solid manual transmission. This car also feels more special. I should say the Evora felt very special, more raw, more emotional, more theatrical than a Cayman, right? When you're driving it, even just puttering around town, but especially when you're driving in the canyons. And this one doesn't feel quite as extreme as an Evora, which feels a little bit more raw, a little bit more of an occasion, if you will. But this still feels more special than a Cayman. And I've also seen some people say that this and the Evora drive identically. I think there are actually some differences. You know, the steering, as an example, the Evora, maybe slightly smaller diameter steering wheel, if I'm not mistaken, has a little bit more feel, at least when I was driving the two back-to-back on some random city, you know, grid streets, not actual canyons. So I do want to do proper reviews of this versus the Evora, versus the Cayman, versus all these other cars at similar price points. Oh my god. Next up, I need to figure out my PPF. I'm considering front versus whole car. I need to get tint, I need to get my dash cams installed. Man, this is just like the culmination of a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, guys. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And I'm gonna do a ton of videos in the coming days talking about a lot of different aspects of the experience of an Emira, pros and cons, first time having a flashy sports car versus just like more mundane sports cars previously, finances, affording a car like this when you're in your early 30s and doing so in a not stupid way where you're not stretching yourself too thin. Why I financed this car at 4.75%. I have a monthly payment of $3,000 on this car, more than my mortgage. And I know a lot of people are typing away, oh, you're so stupid. Hold your horses. There's a mathematically correct answer, and then there's the raging, like, Reddit r/cars. If you spend more than this number of dollars per month on your car payment, you're dumb. But we'll talk about the math of it, why it makes sense, why I chose to do that versus just paying cash. Dude, I'm so stoked. Again, big shout out, big thanks to Blake from Vegas Auto Gallery and Nick, the owner, who I just met today as well. Like, they really took care of me. This process has been, it's been long. It's been over 2 years, 2.5 years, right? Finally, bringing it home. My friends, subscribe if you want to see more Lotus Emira content. Much love, and I'll see you all in the next one.